It's the day of the show.
Hello everybody, Billy Tucci here, and I want you all to know that Fantastic Comics in Berkeley is the best effing comic shop in the United States of America, maybe the world! Booyah!
They think I'm crazy, but I know better. It is not I who am crazy. It is I who am mad.
Alan Pearl. Interesting. How do these people, where do they come from? You know, sure, I'd seen him around. It would never have occurred to me to walk up to the dentist and say, you know, are you interested in this? But I was shopping for my wife, Bonnie. I buy most of her clothes. And Mrs. Pearl was in the same shop. And it just was an accident. You know, we started talking about pantyhose. She was saying, whatever, that's not the point of the story, but what the point was that through this accidental meeting, it's like, you know, it's like a Hitchcock movie where, you know, you're thrown into a rubber bag and put in the trunk of a car. You find people. You find them. Something. Is it karma? Maybe. But we found him. That's the important thing. And I got Bonnie a wonderful pantsuit.
My brother and I used to say that drowning in beer was like heaven, eh? Now he's not here and I got two soakers. This isn't heaven, this
Don't
sucks.
talk. Say, would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel? They're a little melty, but damn are they exquisite. And if I remember correctly, you're a big pretzel fan.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah?
No.
Oh, come on.
No,
They're
please.
awesome.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you. Oh.
What?
Registered commies, not guns.
Oh, he was probably a member of the National Rifle Association. There was a group that helped criminals get guns so they could shoot citizens. It was a public service.
Where's your rope, Ignacio?
It was stinky, but these are my recreation clothes.
They look expensive.
Thank you. I mean, yes, they may have the appearance of riches, but beneath the clothes, we find a man. And beneath the man, we find his nucleus.
Oh, shut up, Pee-wee.
Why don't you make me?
Why don't you make me?
Because I don't make monkeys. I just train them.
Oh, Pee-wee, listen to reason. Oh, come on.
I'm listening to reason.
Pee-wee.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Throw out your hands, stick out your tush, hands on your hips, give 'em a push. You'll be surprised you're doing the French mistake. Voila!
Shit. I
Have you got it?
Yes.
Sounds like steam escaping.
You might not ever get rich. Let me tell you, it's better than digging a ditch or being chased by a witch.
There ain't no telling who you might meet.
A movie star, maybe even a Indian chick. Working at the car wash. Working at the car wash. Yeah.
Mr. Moore, will you sign my DVD of Watchmen Babies? Which of the babies is your favorite?
You see what those bloody corporations do? They take your ideas and they suck them. Suck them like leeches until they've gotten every last drop of the marrow from your bones.
Hey, Teacup, why don't you chill out?
Very well. Oh, little Lulu, I love you, Lou, just the same. Ah.
It's getting warmer in here.
I didn't notice anything.
Power, profit, and passion.
Offer limited to God and godlike deities. Get very excited and speak in tongues.
Bob, actually that's a stage direction. I think you're supposed to, get all excited and blah, blah, speak in tongues like that.
That'll be fun.
That's
Okay.
all right, mistake.
Take two. Offer limited to God and godlike deities.
Bingo, that was the one, Bobby. That was great. All right, now let's knock these other ones out, voiceover king, before we go to lunch, okay?
All right. To win, you must be 18 and come in first place.
Great, moving on.
Offer expires now.
Zippity-doo-dah, next.
Not to be confused with the disease, cancer.
Zippity-a, moving on.
Harvard's Memory Loss Clinic, established in 1952, 1967, and for the first time in 1981.
That was a goodie, Bob. We're moving on. We're going to do that disclaimer about the John Tesh album. You got that?
Okay.
Should be on the page there, Bob.
Sure.
Okay.
Not suitable for any living thing. I
They
got one
mean
more
it,
here.
too. That Red Rocks thing is awful. Moving on.
Moving on. Mr. Pickle's Fun Time Abortion Clinics. We'll bring out the kid in ya.
I smell lunch. One more and we're out of here, baby doll.
All right. Globochem. We own everything, so you don't have to.
Get to his hands. He's never gonna let you down. He's always looking so fly. No other pup can compare, that's why Gizmo's the best dog in the world. Even better than Snoop Dogg. That motherfucker better watch out for Gizmo. He's got style and he's got grace. Gizmo's the pup that can't be replaced.
Holy moly, look at my date! She's a super villain! Possibly a Medusa. Dean, I am not kidding. She has rope for hair and a shiny costume. Oh, not fair! She's wearing goggles! Told you she would dig my Batman suit, but no.
Okay, you're checked in?
Yeah, thank you.
Here's your AIDS ribbon.
No thanks.
You don't want to wear an AIDS ribbon?
No.
But you have to wear an AIDS ribbon.
I have to?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't want to.
But everyone wears the ribbon. You must wear the ribbon.
What you are? You're a ribbon bully.
Hey, you, come back here. Come back here and put this on.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents our 208th consecutive get-together, Tuesday at 8. Thank you, everybody, for joining us live. Thank you, everybody who comes in after the fact.
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. For those of you that are new,
my name is Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
Oops, wrong one. Yeah, that's me, Yule Carter. I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. This show is not just some dude talking about comic books. It's a guy who actually buys more comics than any one of you. Hopefully to sell to you. And all the people that come in my store Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m., come on in. Make it a possibility. This is our hangout. This is the place you go. This is the water cooler you don't have anymore. Where you can talk all things with a guy that can talk all things. That's me, Yule. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about ills of the comic book industry. Things that I feel are sometimes good, sometimes bad, but overall it all get mixed up into the same thing, so it really doesn't matter. I guess I gave it away. Usually we talk about things that happen in the comic book store. Oh, wait, I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. Things that happen in the comic book store. We have segments that are based around new comics coming out tomorrow on Wednesday and things like that. What was great last week? We'll get into that. But first, we're going to change things up a little bit.
Hello. 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 Oh. Look out. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I want to start off talking to you because I have a tall can, and I know Ryan's in there suggesting such a thing. So, first up, don't try new things, everybody. Unless you come to me and I'm trying to, shill. But if you're scared about doing something different and you don't have a conversation with the people about it, if you can't read or understand what you're reading, just don't try anything new. For anybody that wants to know about that, come on into the store tomorrow. It should be a fun day, night, evening. First up, early in the day, Eric O'Sullivan with all those gizmo emojis. Boops for Gizmo. Enjoy your denogonizer, good sir. Man, that was 11:51 for me that he did that. So he knew. Right up. Right there. Another sip. We got to get through this because we only have so many moments. First up, Fantinuum. The worst thing to happen in comics I think the list would go beyond the text limit for this chat entry. Well, there is a lot of things and everybody has problems. When I started bringing up the concept of this for the episode, I was really engaged with the idea. And then as I started examining it more and more, I didn't like doing it. So we'll see how limitless it is. Lane Kramer. Well, the worst thing to happen to DC character gaming is Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I cannot say how much I despise the basis for this game where you actually murder the greatest heroes. It's Suicide Squad, right? I'm sure something will retcon it at the very, very end. You know, seriously. Oh, they had to do it in order to make this one thing happen. It will trigger as a result, and then everything will go back to normal. Oh, you're a bad person. You're going to Arkham. Oops, did I give away too much? Shelby Pill in the other room. Hello. Also, I saw that video gaming. So, if that's a leak, I know some heads are going to roll. Let's see here. Illithid Laura. Hey, all. Hello. Courtney Holland. Wow. You know, I played that sup thing because I heard some people say get the band back together. And someone was Pete Bested, if you know what I mean. Joe with numbers. Booyah. That's right. Just when you think Wrestling Minute can't be crazier than last week's, holy cow. After the show, so many things happened. We're going to get right on into that. I have some video that I clipped today, and also one of the reasons why I didn't care about the main topic. Dwayne Muth, good evening. You'll chat. Good evening to you. Talking Soul, how's it going? Adam Frey, holy cow, you do, and I'll give you such a pinch, man. I tell you, as the cartoons went along, the touch and the timing just never was the same. And there are some funny things, you know, like the Chris Waluski, Ren and Stimpy I'm really into, and maybe some other things like Venture Brothers, you know, clips that I showed. I'm kind of bridging the past and the present, but there were like some really bad Looney Tunes, obviously, those movies that they clip things together. But that's just one of my favorite all-timers. Man, it's just so funny. Battle Buddy, tall cans in the air. That's right. I already knew. All right. I forget. Yule likes to do a slow build-up to his appearance. That's true, because there's so... I noticed the number jump right towards the 10-minute mark. And like there's 12 people, and then all of a sudden it's 19. Hi, everybody. I'm one of them. I'm just making sure it's still airing. Jill will walk in later on if it's not. This Wrestling Minute is going to be the poopy. It sure is. Lane Kramer. Hopefully Yule isn't into Vinnie Max like, well, you know, I'm not going to... We can get into that just a second. Ills. Comics doesn't have any of those. Jimmy T, best shop in town. That's right. Take that, escapist. I'm passing. Great. Oh my God. Greatest one planet. Great Stone Planet. Great Stoner Planet. Why is a copy of the Ultimate Spider-Man #1 so hard to find? Speculators working overtime or actual reader interest? I'm going to say, since there were so many covers, there's going to be some speculator interest in it. But overall, I really do believe it is people that want to read this. There's various reasons that are supposed, you know, as for why that is. I think the reality is it's Jonathan Hickman. People want to like believe that it's because it's a married Peter Parker with kids. He's not even Spider-Man till the very end. So all of a sudden, people like Talking Heads comics, or people don't like Talking Heads comics, and the art was still very good. And then, of course, there's speculators. Little tit, column A, column B. Let's see here. Adam Frey. Hopes no one sees me looking for my 4 USM number ones. Well, I don't believe it's underprinting. I just don't think that they sometimes you have to let the customers know that they can lose out. You know, there are some people they crowdfund and then they have a whole bunch for eBay later on. There's some people that do that and then they have more number ones for number 2 later on. And then some people are like, I'm publishing this damn thing. I'm going to keep it in print. But for a comic book like this, you know, we want to drive up demand. And I think look for that second print. That might be a thing too if you're a speculator. Lane, I can confirm it's not retcon. Oh, okay, very good. Retcon by the end of the game. They bring in multiverse in at the end, but the Justice League Super. Yeah, well, so what? It's a video game. You're playing a goddamn video game, man. I'll keep going. Plus, how they murder. Oh, Jesus. I don't care. Oh, my. Spoilers. And that's fine. Ultimate Spider-Man was really good. It almost makes me want to take back some of the bad things I said about Hickman. What? Good evening, Yule. How's your father? Good evening to you. And then lastly, until the next round. Hey, I wasn't even interested, and homie that works at my shop was like, I'm already down to 3 if you want to get it. And I'm like, yeah, got to hold the value, and actually liked it. That's great. I think it was a good issue. I like Jonathan Hickman, and I'm willing to wait for things to blossom. There's a lot of critics of his. They expect big things from him. But the thing is that it was the slow build that always that created the monster. Let's just say that. I think I got every answer I needed from Spider-Man #1, whether or not I wanted to keep reading. If you haven't read Ultimate Invasion, I highly recommend that. If you have and you're like, I don't know if I really liked it or not, I highly recommend a video that I made with my customer Max on Ultimate Invasion #3. It might give you a little bit more of good feelings as far as why it might actually be better than you thought. A lot of times I don't go into things saying, oh, let's pick out this and this and that. Or sometimes I'll get some things like that, but ignore other things. And when Max came in, he was just throwing down all sorts of like connections between this book and the Ultimates and how it wasn't lame, you know, like saying, I'm writing a Batman book and you're driving down Adams Boulevard or something like that, you know? Yeah. And then Lane says, I'm excited for Black Panther. Eli, we don't badmouth Hickman on Fantastic Comics Presents. He's a saint. Yeah, I think as far as like the newest new writers, not everything worked out well with that X-Men, and he obviously left. But a lot of people were upset with some of the stories that he had done. But when you get to the really great ones, you realize what a great writer he is. And I can name Fantastic Four issues like that. I can name Avengers issues like that. Moments in Avengers more than issues for Fantastic Four. And he did really great rehabilitation and advancing the characters, but not doing it in such a way that, you know, is going to ruin anything for future people. But unfortunately, when good things happen, it usually ruins it for the future. Speaking of ruining things for the future, I think it's probably a good time to have this segment start now. All right, the Wrestling Minute. Who's excited? You guys excited for this one? There was the Royal Rumble, and it was pretty good. I liked it. Women's was okay, and the men's was okay, and I thought they all ended the way they needed to. The final two in the men's Royal Rumble was Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. and something was good for one person and something was bad for the other. And the good was that Cody Rhodes won the match and he's going to be going to WrestleMania. The bad is CM Punk got injured and is probably going to be gone for like 6 to 8 months. That's how it goes. Why did I do this picture? I can't remember. Oh, that's later on. That bad things about comic books. A glimpse into the future, everybody. Speaking of a glimpse into the future, there's probably going to be more than one head rolling at WWE. The first to fall is Vince McMahon, but coincidentally, if you put everything together, it might have been one of the reasons why Kevin Dunn left a couple weeks ago. Get out while the getting's good, because Vince McMahon, there was this I forget, Wall Street Journal or something like that, article that came out, I think, like after our show, or maybe during. And there's like 600 plus pages of testimony, and it's like text. Then it's like Vince McMahon talking to all these other people like John Laurinaitis. And there's all sorts of like stuff about sex and having sex and all sorts of like, Vince McMahonisms. If you ever watched like the WWE Network when what was it? It was the Stone Cold, when they had Stone Cold on the show or on the network, and he interviewed Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon talked about this story. One of the funniest, most fun, awesome times he ever had was when this is out by his pool. And one of his, I can't remember who it was, somebody came in and he's like all in a suit and everything. And Vince had him pushed in the water in the pool. And he talks about like how this guy's falling into the water and he could like look at his face and he could see oh shit, I'm going to fall in this water and I'm all clothed and everybody's looking at me and all this other stuff. And Vince just takes super, super crazy glee in that. It sounds like he's that way with women. And it's not just hush money girlfriend on the side type thing. It's like really exploiting who they are as people. But really, it shouldn't come as any shock because he does that with his wrestlers, anybody that works for him in any way, and anybody that's ever watched the product for any time or pays attention behind the scenes for any amount of time knows that this is like a CAD, and it was always in spite of Vince McMahon that you watched, your favorite wrestlers wrestling, maybe. But of course, a lot of them are going to be implicated in this stuff too. So if Vince McMahon's resigning, and supposedly, is it Endeavor that owns them? It's like the umbrella company. Said something about anybody being mentioned is gonna like get axed. It's like, yeah, Vince McMahon. I watched a really good 15-minute clip of another person's show, and it had Paul London. Jill and my like together at the same time, probably one of our favorite wrestlers that we went and saw at PWG with a guy named El Generico. Oh, I gotta take that banner down so you can see the cookies that Jill made and they ate. Oh wait, that's a picture that would suggest no. But here he is. Here's El Generico with a cookie. All right, good time. A bad time. And here's a few things that Paul London had to say on the show. It's the Rene Dupree show.
Well, you called it. Think about it. Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't say I called it, but I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. So there you go. That's something to think about. It's just the tip of the iceberg. A 634 page manuscript on this. I mean, it's gonna. Oh my god, I think it's gonna get crazy. Speaking of,
now people can see just what type of mindset that man has.
Yeah.
The way he thinks.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully the dominoes will keep falling.
And did you see what Ronda Rousey fucking wrote on?
Yeah, I don't remember it, but I did read it earlier.
Bruce Pritchard.
Oh yeah, that's it. He would be one of the dominoes that would fall.
Yeah.
So
there it is, right there, man. Bruce Pritchard is basically Vince's avatar. If he's still around, Vince has a hand in the business. Vince was still running things through Bruce when he was gone before. So
love it.
Love it. Paul London was held down. Him and Brian Kendrick. That's Bruce Pritchard. I would suggest that he's probably going to be the first one to be let go. The Brock Lesnar, he's a talent. Supposedly he gets named in this. I didn't read it. I'm not getting involved in it. I'll just listen to what people have to say. I think a good person I was listening to a little bit beforehand was obviously Jim Cornette. Anytime he has some thoughts about something that's important in wrestling, I think he can shed some light on some of the situations. And I mean, depending on what story you're hearing about him. Oh my goodness gracious. Right now, I see Talking Soul. Thank you very much, sir. What is that? A sticker? Just to say something. Thank you very much. Going back to my video of Paul London.
Not only that, Endeavor released a statement saying that, or possibly they want to release anybody that had really close ties to Vince.
Good.
So like any of these people that were named in this could possibly get the boot, dude.
Oh yeah, I just said that. I wonder where I heard that from. There was another one at the end, and Paul London kind of surmises everything, how he feels about it. There's more conversation that I would recommend you check out because he talks about Ashley Massaro, and she committed suicide, and there was like a rape when she was on. I'm not supposed to. Anyway, when she was like on one of those US or those WWE for the Troops shows. So what a great situation I'm sure that was. But here he is talking about this.
It's an onion of destitution. I mean, it's really it's a really disgusting onion full of just layers and layers and layers, and as you say, as what's known in the wrestling business, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, right?
And that's your wrestling man. All right, let me just delete those. I like Paul London a lot. He's fun. Cool dude. Haven't ever heard anything bad about him. But I like, when you're a pothead, not that they can't be bad people either. It just seems that, drive. Let's go back to comments. I saw Ali was here. Let's see. He says, and Ali's a channel member, so this shows up differently for me. So I'm like, I know I have to get there. Women's Rumble stole the show for sure. Well, I think Jade Cargill muscling up and getting Nia Jax up and over, aces. They had spots where like all those women were trying to get her over and they couldn't. And then she did it. And it was a blown spot. And it was like, it wasn't one where they redid it. She just gutted it out and got the sizable Nia Jax up and over. And she wasn't helping. Not in that situation. There was like, some some spots, but it's a Royal Rumble, and they never really are really my favorite matches. Other moments that I thought were really great was when Jordynne Grace came out. Naomi showed up, so she's back in the company. Jordynne Grace from TNA. If you saw her back in the pandemic days, she was super muscular and thicker. Now she's super muscular, but she's lean, and she looks WWE ready for sure. And she got some, oh my God, it's a lady that can do some suplexes for real. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. Yeah, Vince is done. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't even see Stephanie back for a long. I think she. There was a long time where they were selling stocks in their company, and I'm sure Stephanie still owns some, but she seems to be pretty much removed from the company. Hasn't been working there for a while. I think she quit. I think that was a while ago. There's also like rumor that, well, that's I don't know. Her and Hunter might not be as solid as they were. This is wrestling. It's a carny business. No matter how many billions a company might make, you know, and that includes AEW. Even if the person doesn't know what they're doing, they're still spending the money and hiring the talent that's doing the things that they're doing. And it happened at TNA. Ring of Honor had one of the shadiest. Reminds one of Gerard Jones in comics, the owner of Ring of Honor during that time. So, and it's not even them, you know, it's not paying your We're going to be talking about comic books, and all these things are going to be happening in just a moment. I swear it all ties, whether I meant to or not. Guess we're not going to see Brother Love again. Oh, yeah. Some of those gimmicks. I mean, he's good for heat. In Sabanur, greetings, fellow mutants. We're having a hard time right now, but who knows? Maybe Gale is the way. The ending of the Logan Paul KO match was the highlight for me. Great classic chicanery at the end. Unfortunately, I saw Hulk Hogan lose to Mr. Perfect at the Los Angeles Coliseum, or Sports Arena, I mean, and he hit him with the knucks that Mr. Perfect was going to hit him with. Got the pin, so you're like, oh my God, Mr. Perfect lost, and then the ref sees it and reverses it, but of course it's disqualification. So Hulk Hogan leaves champion, and everybody's happy because he still gets the big boot off and sends him out the ring, and then does the stuff. A good match. Yeah, Nia definitely tried sandbagging Jade. If that is true, because some people thought she was pretty stiff, which I don't necessarily have a problem with stiff, but it's different if you're stiff with Jordynne Grace. You gotta know your equivalent and what you're doing, and she hasn't necessarily. They've celebrated that in her character, especially when dealing with Becky Lynch, to the point where they did the spot blood in their last match together. So. Sandbagging, I think miscommunication. We're dealing with Jade here. So we're dealing with Jade and we're dealing with Nia. And that's not a good combo. Like, in theory, it's like, wow, this should just be so great. But Nia is Nia and Jade is Jade, but Jade is Jade, and she got her up and over. And that's the important thing. So it's great. It does all come full circle. And that's it. All right, great. We'll do best of last week, and then we're going to get into the topic at hand. Let me just bring these comics up. Sometimes, excuse me. Sometimes this is for sales, sometimes this is for reading, and sometimes this is for attention. The first one up is something I have no interest in. Anybody that knows me knows I don't usually care about Punisher. And was it number 3? Was that the issue? Well, whatever issue it was the seller of the week. No, that was last week. David Pepose, and I can't remember what the first name is of Mr. Wakta. But yeah, there you go. The Punisher. We sold out, and I have to order more. And I think that's something to pay attention to. There are people in the store that like it. I had Val on, one of my customers. He was saying that he enjoyed it, and there you go. And it sold well. Something else that sold well? Thrawn. I actually had some new customer come in for this book. I think it was actually 2 people. So not only did the regulars get it, but the extra copies that I ordered came in handy. I still have 1 copy left, I do believe, but Thrawn. People like Thrawn. Oh yeah, the one person I expected to care about it didn't, because this is an adaptation from what I understand. All right, next up. For sales, for knowing what happens, I heard a lot of complaints about this book, mostly because it's a Storm book, and it's called The Resurrection of Magneto. But Magneto's dead, and Al Ewing is writing this, and there is no more X-Men Red. So if you want more X-Men Red, I suggest this is probably the book that you're going to want to read. I just call it X-Men Red number 19. You can call it whatever you want, a disappointment. You're happy that there's more of what you enjoyed. For me, X-Men Red was a good seller, and I am happy because this is a good seller also. Sometimes it's not fan Yule that likes something, it's store Yule that likes something. And that's definitely one of them. Something that disappoints me as a store and excites me as a fan is Ghost Machine, the imprint at Image that is run by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank and Brian Hitch, and Tomasi is over there, and other creators that are all exclusive to Ghost Machine. Unless they're doing a variant cover, I guess is different. Ghost Machine is Geiger, which came out the last couple of years. Junkyard Joe, which comes from Geiger, comes from that universe. And then you also have stuff by Jason Fabok and all those other really great creators. Why would I not appreciate this as a store? Well, these people aren't doing mainstream comic books. And if Gary Frank was on, let's say, I know, when Nick Klein isn't doing Hulk issues, maybe he would be the fill-in artist doing a Hulk issue. Or maybe an annual of the Avengers. I always feel that we get all these variant covers, and they're more than happy to pay these creators we're kind of getting into it. They pay all these creators to do things, and what we really want are something that makes us want to open up the book, not just look at the cover, put it in a piece of plastic, and never pay attention to it. Speaking of, this is a book you should purchase. This is a book you should read, and don't listen to the naysayers. God's number 4. I'm caught up, everybody, and I thought this issue was my favorite of them all. Although I did really like the first one. Customer Max said that 3 was really good, and I read it, and I was kind of, I'm going to continue, obviously. But this is the issue that I actually enjoyed. And although one of my Thinking Critical brothers on panel out there thought this was very boring, I found this to be very interesting. And if there had not been a third issue, it would not have made as much a sense for the fourth issue. So, you know what? I do like the third issue. But this is the one. And we sell it very well because, you know, Jonathan Hickman. And that was the best of last week. All right. Getting back to comments really quick. I just got a notification. Let's see here. All right. Very good. I don't know what that meant. Pokemon. What's all right? I'm getting all these gifts for my buddies. Anybody else out there that plays Pokemon Go? Thought I turned all that off. If you send me a gift, my phone will obviously ring. So, let's see what we got here. Sylvam says, "Hail, Yule. I've watched hundreds of hours of you talking, dude. Started to listen to you because you're the only one citing Grendel to clueless faces. Also, Flaming Carrot Legion Unite." All right, Sylvan. Well, thank you for finally joining the chat. That's awesome. I love Grendel. Maybe someday I'm going to... Would this be a thing? One day I'll bring out a box that I have. I made sure that when I moved up to the Bay Area that I had a box of comics that I was able to bring with me ultimately. It's just a short box. And it's mostly like 90s stuff. It had the Riddler issue that Neil Gaiman wrote for Secret Origins. Matt Wagner did the artwork. Well, no, yeah, I think he did the artwork for it. Joe Matt did the coloring. Yeah, we did that on the Joe Matt episode, or we talked about it at least. And then Flaming Carrot. On one of the sides there, I got some Flaming Carrot. My favorite issue is I'm No Jack Kennedy. Oh. Not even that Nia is stiff. She didn't look like she did it much to help Jade and get her up and over. I think there was an early jump. All right, you guys are down with Flaming Carrot. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, the reason why I said that is because I have some Grendels in there that I really like. The Ghost Machine book was good value. About half the stories piqued my interest. Oh, yeah, Francis Manapul is going to be doing stuff. But again, it's just... I remember when I worked for Comic Relief, my coworker Ray said... oh man, it's too bad Francis Manapul is doing something that I don't care about. And I think he ultimately, he just really wanted some Batman stuff. But he was doing Legion of Superheroes at the time, and that's very upsetting to hear. Him being on these, again, it's kind of like that. And not only that, when you boost up the superhero books, I think, it would help you with your Ghost Machine stuff. And I haven't really seen Francis Manapul in a while. Commander Cody. Hi, Yule. Hello, Commander Cody. Oh yeah, the old-timey ads. You know what? I'm reading My Bad right now in trade paperback form from Ahoy Comics. Mark Russell is writing it, and it is hilarious. It is so funny. I mean, it's like 5-page stories. And I read the first story, and I'm sure Jill was paying attention to me because I was just like laughing reading it. So funny. Eli's down with Gods. Excellent. Of course. Elitha Lore, isn't being the best issue of Gods the same as being the nicest guy in prison? Oh, Jesus. Pika. That's right. That's what it's all about. All right. Let's see. Did I bring up I really so let's talk about comic book ills. It's hard to do on camera. There's a lot of things out there that I feel contribute to the negativity of comics. But as I think about it, I went and saw a movie with one of my customers yesterday. I saw Godzilla. I saw -1 minus color, so it was in black and white. First time I saw the movie, and I gotta let you know, it's only out until February. And if you like Godzilla movies and haven't seen it, what are you doing? You seriously, what are you doing? Oh my God. And if you don't like Godzilla movies, but you just want to kind of like be a part of something that's like amazing, it felt like a film. There's real directing going on, and it didn't feel like it. I mean, there was some exploitative stuff or some stuff that was I wouldn't say it was like hitting you over the head with a theme or an idea, but it was letting you know if you cared about paying attention. See, I've already told you earlier, I'm not the kind of person that's looking for every single clue in something. And even I was like, oh, that's pretty apparent what's going to obviously happen. All of that happened, and I didn't care. It was great because it was magical and really well done. Fantastic movie. I didn't care that I had to read it. And the words, even when I had to take my glasses off to wipe the tears from my eyes, I could still see them. I wasn't really close, but that was a bonus. I hate wearing my glasses, but I didn't want to take them off because I didn't want to miss anything. It was so well done. I really liked it. And my customer said he told his sister that he was going to be going out and seeing this. And she said, why? Like, why would you want to go and see something like this? It was beneath him, you know, a person his age, a person my age. And I feel like that's a majority of people. We had a really, really special time when people cared about the movies and the TV. And now we have only the people that care about those things and the select few that are talking about them all the time. And it's incessant. I appreciate the need to want to have a community and have people talking about stuff. But there are so many other things other than that. You can widen your view, change your perspective. Read A Flaming Carrot. You know, I didn't put it in the top 5, and it didn't come up on the list when I was checking it off because I read the book late. But Joe Casey's Junior Baker fits the bill. If you're a person who grew up and it was like, you know, I don't read superhero comics anymore. If you're somebody that's looking for something maybe a little deeper than, you know, the extreme 90s, whether it be Marvel, DC, even within those times and even from those companies that you deride, there are magical moments that happen within them. You just got to know where to look. It's the Supreme issues that Keith Giffen did and Alan Moore, but that was a Maximum or something like that. But you know what I mean? It was never when Herb Trimpe was doing a Rob Liefeld ripoff. But yeah, Herb Trimpe. The industry always has their knuckleheads. So if we point to you know, bad actors out there that say stupid things and they're always like stirring the pot, know that there was always John Byrne and Chris Claremont on a bad day. And, you know, stories about Flo not giving a shit about the letter person, the person that wrote the shitty letter. And Stan Lee taking credit for everything and everybody and saying he created everything and everything and everybody. The joke in the story is how he actually created Batman, but that wasn't this story. It was another one. There's a lot of things out there that are like, but I think first and foremost, we are now in the nuts and bolts. The people that are going to wrestling is getting a WWE, AEW. The other companies that are out there are still existing and looking to get TV contracts right now. And, there's open stations out there that might be looking for something because, the writer's strike and the actor's strike and everything, live television. How do we get people to pay attention? These are all things that, but wrestling right now is like the boom. It's like they're actually getting more people watching. WWE is getting more people watching than they have in a long time. It's not like the great times, but it's better than the lower times. And the lower times was a while. And the thing is that they always say that wrestling is cyclical. Sometimes it coincides with other companies coming up, other companies getting squashed, and then the people fall off, and then it gets back to where it is again. We're not there with comic books right now. We don't have the extra people. We do in certain moments. When Jonathan Hickman writes a book, we get extra people. When Daniel Warren Johnson writes and draws a very important book, or it's a toy company with a little bit of buzz because of Daniel Warren Johnson, because let's not get it twisted, fools. Declan Shalvey is not a reason to get Thundercats. And the artist I don't know is not a reason to get Thundercats. And Thundercats isn't a reason to get Thundercats. I'll drink to that. This is all off the cuff, by the way. None of this goes with the pictures that I have. These are the things that are bringing people to the table. It isn't some Hollywood person playing the character, writing the book. Oh, God, there was somebody that just got announced that they're going to be doing a book. I could look in my messages, but you guys don't want to watch me do that. It doesn't even matter. Just expect it. Oh, I know. It was, they're going to do Aliens. Paul Reiser is going to, is it that? Is it him? Somebody from Aliens is going to be, I think it's him, is going to be writing the Alien comic book or something. It's like, what the? Comic books will S a D. If you're anybody other than a goddamn comic book creator. Why? Oh, why? I'm going to finally get something in here. Why, oh, why are the Simonsons sitting at home willing to do something and you're paying nobodies to do something and you can't move it at all? They're only important when you want to trot them out for some anniversary or throw us a bone with, some competent storytelling or something that we actually want to look at. The problem is that the more we have AI, the more we have machines working our McDonald's for us, I don't know where we're going to be making our money as citizens. And my business in any capacity is inherent that you have some money. And this isn't necessarily to get political, but take a look at who, in the very least, seems to want to give you some money when you don't get to work, because it's going to be happening real soon. There's going to be a self-driving car, and they're just going to have that one person that works at that store take the machine-made food to the car that's machine-driven, that's going to take it to the house, and it's going to just like shit it on the doorstep. There'll be like little conveyor belts in the car to make sure that the next one goes. Where are you going to get your money? Where am I going to get my money? What am I going to do with these comic books? Well, at least I can make a fire with the old ones because I don't want to burn the noxious fumes from the new ones. Speaking of someone that's old, that's probably priced themselves out of a regular gig and has had health problems, Bill Messner-Loebs. I still see that he has problems. I mean, diabetes isn't something that you're going to get rid of. He's not going to be growing any legs back or anything like that. Peter David's in the hospital, or he's got racked up medical bills, and these companies that are doing things based off of them aren't paying them anything. And every once in a while, they get this 5-issue miniseries saying, hey, I remember something you did back in the day. Can you refresh our memory with that? He can give us something new. He would do something new with a character. I mean, he has things that he likes, but if you said, I want to do a Thing comic book, and you're like, who could I get to write that? And I said, well, what about Peter David? I bet he could write a Thing comic book. He probably wouldn't need any help. He does need help though, and there's GoFundMe. So remember that. That's probably another thing that's really bad about comic books. We don't pay for our creators to stick around. They have to go and do other things. And we don't get to see them come back to the industry. And if we do, it's just for a cup of tea. It's so frustrating. There's so many people that are out there. I mean, even by now, Paul Smith could have done something for Marvel, with all the years that he hasn't done anything. Maybe a Superman story. I see him on Twitter post stuff. It's a shame that he isn't doing anything. They're not getting the people to work at the companies. And even when Sean Gordon Murphy is like crowdfunded something, he's now like working at that Massive thing, which is part of Whatnot. And it's just another fuck you consumer, fuck you shopkeepy kind of thing where Rob Liefeld sells his shit. And if it's not online, then it's through Massive. And it's Zorro that he already crowdfunded, or it's Plot Holes, or it's other stuff that isn't really that good. Sean Gordon Murphy doing anything is good, though. You get a lot of YouTubers out there that aren't so great. Of course, when I'm saying that, I'm not talking about Wes from Thinking Critical.
My good friend Yul Carter, the man behind Fantastic Comics. If you're not checking out his YouTube channel, I think you're nuts.
You are nuts if you're not checking out this channel. But even Wes can get on my nerves with some of his stuff. But I understand, you're trying to run a channel. But the thing is that, I have the luxury of saying, I don't care. Please hit the bell for notifications. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel and hit like. Comment on the channel after the fact. And if you want to give me money, I got all sorts of ways to do it through Fantastic Comics. I really enjoy getting money for selling you a comic book. One of my favorite things to do. It's just a lot of things go on that just are upsetting with the comic book industry, and I can see where everybody gets it, but Getting negative about it, I think, is, and I'm not saying sugarcoat anything, and there's plenty of scandals to talk about, but your channel, and I'm not, again, I'm not talking to Wes necessarily about him necessarily. I mean, there's plenty of other people out there. There's your comic historians, and I get pissed off about those more than anything. But these are YouTube shows that basically tell you this. They give you the Wikipedia and fleshed out Wikipedia with pictures and maybe some action and movement of panels. Basically making a movie of the Infinity Gauntlet. This is, you like the Infinity War movies, well, you're missing out, because there's good shit that you can't get in that stuff. And I'm going to show it to you, and millions of people watch these things. But I have had people come in and get the original things as a result. Even still, I mean, we're not seeing sales of these things like we're seeing views of these videos. There is a disconnect somewhere, and who is making money off this? So that's a bad thing. Obviously, there's pirating. I mean, how else do I get the pictures to show you? I mean, I'd be down here with the camera, but I want it to look better than that. So there's that also. These are all things that get in. I think the negativity, though, is it comes from lack of caring, ultimately. And the few people that are hanging on that really care get very vociferous about it. And I'm not going to really blame them. It's just, some people really know how to work the angle better than other people. And when it's those people, they're obviously bad actors and probably have something to sell. And I think you can take a look at all the people that are out there that are on YouTube and that have comic, let's see, they have like comic speculation sites. And then, of course, they sell boxes so that they can get rid of all the shit that they don't care about and say you're going to get a $40 value for this $20 a month box. It's going to get shipped out to you, and they're going to make sure they have that variant cover of some shitty comic book you never gave a fuck about. That's the one F word. I'm going to try and hold myself to that right now. So you got a lot of that stuff going on, and you're like, am I giving this person money? I got the shield of a store right here when I say things like that. I provide the service. I am the only person. I get comics, I sell comics. I get bags and boards, I sell bags and boards. I'm trying to make a living. But I mean, trying to be as honest as I possibly can. I mean, I feel like I am 100%. But I also know that sometimes I'm scrolling away a book for a customer that hasn't come in for a while. So if you haven't come in for a while and you think I'm scrolling a book away for you, you better get in soon. I think the movies killed things for sure. The Disney Channel, the oversaturation of that product. It was different when it was 3 movies a year, but when it's 3 movies a year and it's 10 years, that's 30 movies. You can't expect anybody to want to get in, and then you do all this reboot stuff, and then it's just a big old clusterfuck. And it's amazing how movies have done to comic book movies, where it was, you got the Marvel Universe starting like in 62, I think, with Fantastic Four, 61, 62. And then they had Secret Wars in the 80s. Nothing screwed up there. When did they finally screw up anything? Was it House of M? You know, was that when it happened? But then everything got knocked back. Maybe Age of Apocalypse. I don't think the Marvel Universe got rebooted. You know what I mean? Like in DC, the 1960s, they had a reboot come the 80s, but they were working with all those other things that they purchased and also had before the Silver Age that they were trying to envelop into one big universe. They always felt they had continuity problems, but Marvel never had continuity problems. Marvel has continuity problems like crazy right now. I mean, how did that entire Avengers story never have to do a stop and start all over when Moira got killed one of those times? I don't even understand that. But you know, another thing that really is bad for comics is social media. Can you believe I said that? When I say that there's less people that read comics than ever before, but now we have less people than those people that are on social media making all sorts of noise that people are actually paying attention to. And psychotic comic book people used to have to get chained to their desks in the bullpen. That's why John Romita Sr., he had the longest chain so that he could go to the bathroom whenever he wanted to. Al Milgrom had the second longest chain. But everybody else, real short. Herb Trimpe, that's why he was so upset. He never had a long chain. But now people are at home and they're sending their faxes and getting deliveries to them 3-4 a week later. This is 80s, 90s, you know. Now it's over the computer. Hell, we're doing it on the computer now. Hell, you and I are talking on Zoom as we're doing it, only we're not. What are we doing? We're introverts, just like those other people were, except they were chained to desks and had to hang out with each other. Sometimes they were allowed to go to conventions. But now it's like, I remember when Eric Larson was in the store on Shattuck. He was on Twitter all the goddamn time. I mean, he was at his desk, you know, and he was like drawing Savage Dragon. But, you know, that's it. Just tweeting all the time, getting in it. And he was getting in it. I remember when Ms. Marvel started up and he was like kind of talking about the cosplay. He doesn't say it this way, but he was talking about how like the characters aren't sexy and they don't have costumes that are worth a shit or anything like that. And he was like specifically kind of targeting Ms. Marvel. But everybody's like, ew, she's a 16-year-old girl. That's disgusting. But, you know, 16-year-old boys like sexy 16-year-old girls, too. But, you know, maybe we're not making comics for them anymore. Two last ones. I was going to talk about, so social media, right before we get to it, case in point, Chuck Dixon put this thing out. This is from a Nightwing, I guess. Superman, John Kent, is the son of Superman, Clark Kent. He happens to be bisexual, although he only hangs out with boys. So I'm bi. How about you? And Nightwing, Dick Grayson, greatest ass in comics. I guess I've only ever dated women, but I mean, look at me. Seriously, look at me. I'm gorgeous. I'm an absolute snack. I've got to be at least a little queer. And everyone went crazy. Oh my goodness. What, 36 people? You know, it had like 300 notations or whatever that other thing. You know, it makes I forget what it's called. Doesn't matter. Impression. And then 300 impressions. It's on Facebook where the old people are and everything like that. I guess it was made as a joke, and people didn't realize that. And Tom Taylor had to come out, let Chuck Dixon know that no, I'll look for him. You're resourceful and powerful, but this is Gotham. and blah, 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 blah. So it's just a boring Tom Taylor. Now, Chuck Dixon responds, and all the thread is gone. So, I was looking for it today, and it's not there anymore. I was looking, so he responds like a number of times. It's just like, this is going to be the communication the rest of the way. It is really bad that comics these days doesn't make you think that this couldn't be a reality. Something like that. And then he just answers it that way all the time. Copy paste. And that was kind of bullshit. You screwed up. You didn't delete it beforehand, and you kept responding to it, and then at the very end you did delete it. But I mean, I see that all the time where people either are getting misconstrued. And the thing is, sometimes people are trying to make jokes. I mean, the other one was kind of funny if you dig that kind of thing. Perch does those things where he's taking the words of actual creators and putting them in the mouth of what the words are and putting them in the mouths of those characters that those people write. Kind of funny. That's your fault for saying shitty things and writing Nightwing, Tom Taylor. He never did that with Tom Taylor. But it's just like social media, man. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. The other thing, editors are just either they're too much in control or not in enough control, or they're slacking off and letting the people that don't get paid a whole lot of money. And we know there's so many people that are like that because there's nobody making money in comics at the major companies unless you're the major people. So that's a bad thing. It's just, just like rotating chairs, kind of like putting some people here and, some people that are left to do, their own devices. It might actually work out. But, the most important thing Jim Lee did was this, and this was last year. Was this last year? Yeah, last year. Maybe the year before.
Please welcome world-renowned comic book artist, writer, and editor, the publisher and chief creative officer of DC, Jim Lee!
Hi, really nice to meet you.
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Can't believe I still had that. Jim Lee, man, that guy, he drew during COVID pictures, and those got auctioned off or something like that, and then the money went to the Bink Charity Fund, and then comic stores got money doled out that were part of that thing. Totally got money. Thank you, Jim Lee. I was kind of like, at the time, kind of like, if you would have done like a series, I'd probably be selling more than what I got. But it's all right. He is now, DC is now taking those pictures and they're making variant covers Fantinuum. So all of that great charity and goodwill that came to the comic stores is going to come to us again. And you get to, if you didn't donate then, you can donate now. So let me know if you want one of those Jim Lee covers, because I'm sure they're going to sell out. There'll be variants and $1 more. I think it's kind of not cool. It's not something that is nice. And take some of that generosity away, I think. And lastly, we got Rich Johnston and the shill media. I would suggest that all comic book journalism that has wrestling and TV and anything that isn't in the very least comic book related, if they go to video games that aren't comic books, take on too much of like a political bent. I mean, you can report that somebody doesn't work for something and that's the reason why, but everything doesn't always have to be something, but it always seems that is the way it is. And always there's some sort of glee that people take when other people are doing poorly. I understand that feeling. But Rich Johnston, man, this guy. And he's not the only one. I mean, I was telling you. They all just seem like they're really, I mean, I guess that's just journalism anyway. Maybe they are real journalism now that I think about it. Newspapers never had advertisements at one time. We'll just put it in the sports page. Then they put all the advertisements in the other place, and then the sports page has got the call numbers and stuff like that, the gentleman club places. You go to Bleeding Cool, and you're probably going to get that too. And for me, these are some of the ills of comic book, but it really isn't the product as much as people want to make it out to be. There is always something for somebody, and we're going to get to that right as soon as I upload these pictures. Because tomorrow is New Comic Book Day, and I'll get to your comments in a second, but I see there's a lot of them. So either I pissed you off or you want to say something, so hopefully it'll stand out. I see a Thundercats. I'm going to try Thundercats #1 because that franchise speaks to me. You know what that franchise speaks to me? It speaks to me of an opening sequence for the title, the title scene, the opening. The most flawless, most amazing animation suggesting that there's a program to come that's going to be of equal, and it never is. Snarf, snarf. I just want that Jay Lee cover. Well, I ordered it. The editor publishers don't know and seemingly don't want to know their audience. But see, I don't understand that Great Stone Planet, because Tom Brevoort, by all accounts, CB Cebulski, by all accounts, Mark Waid, who works over at DC, by all accounts, these are people that work at the different companies that really, really, really know their shit. And maybe they're not talented. There's a difference between being an editor and being, I don't even know what's the assistant editor. But the assistant editors are given more power than they probably should. And the other editors probably were pushed up from assistant editor and have more power than they should. And the other ones are stretched out, the editor in chiefs and whatnot. So it's just not working out, or they're not talented. They're good company men, but they're not good leaders. And Jim Lee just doesn't really seem to be a good leader. And I don't know what he does, so I'm talking out my ass. I'm a bad leader. I'm a really good worker. I'm running the store. I can do that very well. But when it's other people, it's difficult. It's difficult to have to deal with other people. He's dealing with a lot of people, I'm sure. And if he's not, he's getting paid a lot of money to not have to worry about stuff that other people are working about. So, what are you going to do? There are movies that I'm just generally not interested, yet people go, oh, it was stunning and heart-wrenching. Example, A24 movies. Blah. I sat through some of them. Boring. What's A24? Where's my automatic robot that delivers my pull list? Amen. Nepo writers. In comic books, are there? Abrams' kid got a job. It's really the people from outside. So if we're going to call them that, I'm okay with that. Legacy. I don't know what you guys are talking about. All right, let's go over here. So, all right, here we say, some idiot thought it would be better to give him 3 consecutive Maestro miniseries instead of a single ongoing. Yeah, that's what they do with Peter David and all the important people that work in comic books. We need someone from outside the industry to come in and write an out of continuity thing comic with weird characterizations rather than a veteran who knows the character. True. I didn't hate that one as much, but I if we have to get rid of even one that I'm so with to get rid of all of them, I mean, yeah, that's fine. The Best Picture Oscars should have been gone at Top Gun Maverick, but we all know the Oscars have nothing to do with quality. Okay. You guys, I'm the worst. Whatever I said, it was bad, I'm sure. I hate people who complain about comics, refuse to believe Marvel and DC put out anything good, and also refuse to pick up any indie book. Amen. Well, hate. I'm always sad when there's a indie starting up, and I know I'm going to be the only one excited. Sylvan, you're transparent about art and industry, and other accounts are thirsty for clout and attention. That's why your videos are worth watching and not watched. What is this dialogue? I know that it was faked. That's right. But that's what happened on Facebook/Twitter. When all those idiots got upset about Clobbering Time with Thing on Krakoa. Amen. I love that book too. That was so I'm going to make a section of my store, and it's going to have DC and it's DC, Marvel, and other, and it'll be like comics from these companies that don't suck. And like I'm going to have like 5 Marvels, and it might not be like if I said X-Men, let's say the Duggan run, and there's 4 volumes. I'm only going to put the one I liked. You know, it'll be the one with the mushroom guy. Can't think of his name. Let's see. Yule. You know what that franchise says to me. It says ting from all the variant covers. That's Thundercats. That's right. Are you ready for the Silverhawks one? Are you ready for Voltron again? Are you ready for, like, this could go crazy. I like Declan Shalvey, but I like him as an artist. So him as a writer. I mean, can you ruin Thundercats? I think if you put too much Snarf in it or make Snarf really lame, like he was in the cartoon, then I'm out immediately. If you try and do something with him, but not too hard, and then something comes from it, I would be okay with that as a character. But overall, I don't want to see no Snarf, okay? I say try to get some really good artist and decent writer together for some stories. I mean, Batman Joker Deadly Duo with Silvestri had a decent story, great artwork, and sold very solidly. We need that. And I agree. I mean, there's that Elsewhere that John Byrne did. That would be the perfect go-to. It's like 3 years worth of stuff. And if you want to make it go even longer, you could have a backup reprint story featuring whatever crap he's referring to. You know what I mean? Speaking of indie comics, EVS got me into Noah Van Sciver. LOL, how's your father says. Dude, Noah Van Sciver, you got to read his Blammo. Most recently, he did Maple Terrace, but he's done stuff. He did a Mormon story. He did a Johnny Appleseed. I carry that one in the store. I have the Fonte Bukowski. Great stuff. Great stuff in that. It's all about a really shitty writer. I'm a big fan of Noah Van Sciver. I'm a Van Sciver fan either way. The only thing about EVS that I don't like, other than other stuff, is his stuff is a little too stiff. I think he still has some way to go. There's a lack of fluidity. He also inks his own work, and I think he could be helped by not happening. There's a lot of really good inkers that are out there that aren't working in the mainstream. I wonder what's happened to them. He should reach out to them and not be so into his own. When a penciler inks his own stuff, it's like he's jacking off twice on the page. You kids can have the new stuff. I'm picking up the EC Weird Science Volume 3. Well, and The Agent and Sheena. All right. I also recommend Fantagraphics is putting out the Atlas years for Marvel. So it's going to be like their horror monster stuff, I guess. Pre-code. And the first book already came out. So you check that one out. I read the first Fonte Bukowski volume. It was great. It sure was. Snarf is actually the god of the old world, punished for his mismanagement, placed in the most annoying, hideous form as punishment. Boom, done. Fear Monarch, I'm totally agreeing with that. I still don't want to see him in the room too often. Oh, this one. Illithid Lore. After Joe Corallo's King Arthur and the Knights of Justice book comes out, he should start doing more classic cartoon comics. I joke with Joe every time he comes on that, how's the Legion going? You know, how's that? DC is, if they want to do something, they should try, they need a reset. All right, we're going to get into new comics, and we're not cracking the slab tonight. I'm going to do a video at the store with Talking Soul instead. If you're at all interested, think about joining our Patreon, because, you know, you don't want to be like George Costanza.
You know, my last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos! 650 you change. Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Si!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patron...
Oh, yeah, and this one, too. Almost done. All right, we're going to talk about new comics, but first, thank you to all our Patreons members. Oh, yeah. God, I was going to start off the show with this. Become a subscriber to the channel or be a Patreon member. Just give a couple bucks, a comic book worth. Anybody that's $3.99, because that's what the pledge is here for the subscriber count. In 2 months, so February, March. You have to be a subscriber for February and March. The people that did it before, I'm going to give you a thumbs up. I got some really cool stuff. I want to start raffling it off for y'all. I want to do it for my Patreon members also. So it's going to be a very select group. I guarantee there's going to be some really, really good stuff. But Ken, who I screwed up on, is going to have a spin, whether he is a Patreon member or a subscriber to the channel, because I screwed up on his Transformers slot. I mean, it was a slim chance, but he could have been the one. So I really hate the fact that I screwed up, and I knew that was going to be a tough one. From now on, anybody that I do that for is probably going to be a purchaser only. But anyway, thank you to all of you for helping us out. Whew. I had to pay taxes, and I know I'm dipping a little deep, so the Patreon money really helps out. Thank you for fans of the show also. Oh, wait. All right. Let's talk about new comics that are coming out, because that's what this thing is all about. I want to let you know about comics that are worth picking up, or comics that I know you want to talk about or, purchase. All right. So this month or this week for DC, it's a lot of annuals. It's a fifth week is what we like to call it. A fifth week. If you come in tomorrow, it'll be the last day of the month. And I have a surprise for anybody that wants to hang after hours, although that surprise might not necessarily be as great as you might think it will be. Nonetheless, got something for you. Everybody else, I've got Batman and Robin Annual. It's got Howard Porter artwork, and I tell you, after he got his hand all messed up and he had to learn to draw with the other one, just great stuff. I like his work a lot now. Batman Superman, world's finest, everybody. It's got Mark Waid, Cullen Bunn, that Culver guy who did Doom Patrol. I bet there's a Doom Patrol type story. Christopher Cantwell, somebody named Salmon, Tony Salmon. No, that's Salmons. Jorge Forney. I'm just guessing. Jordi Belair. Oh God, they do the colors like I care. Anyway, a bunch of stories in this one. Kind of like a classic World's Finest, a bunch of stuff you don't care about, and Batman, Superman. Wolverine number 42. Why I'm on a text thread with some of my customers. I'm going to turn this off for symmetry. I'm on a text thread with my customers. And one of them said, wow, I just read 41 of Wolverine. I can't wait to get this issue tomorrow. Stuff really went down. Well, I agree. Stuff went down to the point where I sold out, and I know I ordered extra. So thank you, everybody, and come on in for this one. Hulk number 8. Oh, my God. This story seems like it's going on forever, but I think it's just on the 3rd issue. I'm not really that big a Ghost Rider fan, and I like this Hulk, but I don't love it. It always looks good, even if it's a fill-in artist, at least so far. Yeah, there you go, Hulk. Duke number 2. Duke number 1 was a sellout. I had to get more, and then I had to get more, and I finally got more, but I don't know how many of number 2 I have for y'all. So come on in early and get it. This is what some people are calling the best thing Joshua Williamson's writing right now. Could that be true? Because I love his Superman. Avengers Twilight number 2. Man, I got people in the store talking about this. And as opposed to the first cover, I think this is a good Alex Ross one. Daniel Acuna, this is his best work that I've seen him do in some time. He's really got that computer working overtime for the colors. And Chip Zdarsky's writing a story that I am interested in paying attention to. In the story, I was calling it a Dark Knight for the Avengers. Or Dark Knight 2. Someone said, wow, I said Avengers, but I never even thought of doing it like Dark Knight 2, which was basically a Justice League story. Oh, I screwed up, everybody. Spider-Boy is coming out. I know you don't care. I still got the normal amount of number 1 covers, but I got an extra amount of number 2 covers because I know at least a few of you are going to care. And I'm squirreling at least one of these away, and that's not a lie. So I'm not stupid. Batman Off-World number 3. I just told you I'm not stupid, and yes, I'm saying I love a Jason Aaron comic book. Now, like 70% of the fact that Doug Mahnke was doing it was was going to make me like it. But Jason Aaron is up to scratch here. He's done a good job, and he made me care about some fun characters. And now Batman's in a situation that's not what he was in. It's only a 6-issue series. It's not like I have to spend a lifetime with it. And this was my cheap Batman before the year ended, and I'm happy that I did it. Now, you see, what doesn't help me as a comic store is when a reviewer... Oh, wow, I totally screwed that up. When a reviewer says that this isn't worth getting. Now, see, my old boss, Rory Root, said never write a negative. Don't, no contractions. Say what is good about it or say nothing at all. And the day of a comic book coming out, I'm not open on Tuesdays. So, I got tomorrow through Sunday. I'm going to be trying to sell this book. And it's not like I ordered as many as I normally order Wonder Woman. And I do know that this is a reprint backup story of the Wonder Woman, or the reprint of the backup stories in Wonder Woman featuring the Trinity character. This is her first appearance on the cover, I do believe. And there is another story by Tom King in here. So there is a reason to get this other than, the fact that it's a reprint. I've given you a couple. So now, you can talk about it not being worth the money, maybe like because of the story, but this is a special. It says it right there. This is special. Pick it up. Somna #2. This is a 3-issue series by Becky Cloonan and Tula Lotay. 2 very good illustrators, and it's I don't know. It's kind of like a super sexy dream kind of smut mag. Who doesn't like that? DC Power 2024. Well, it's a day early, but it's going to be here for the first day of the month, so I'm down. I'm not exactly sure why is this really? And these are Jamaican colors, aren't they? Anyway, this is DC's celebration of their black superheroes, which are, like, if you compared them to the black superheroes that they had in like the 70s and 80s, there are so many more. But it takes them a while. DC moves slow, like the South. Kid Cudi presents Moon Man. Kid Cudi. I was making fun of the fact that Eric Stevenson loves music people. And if you want some outside interference in comic books from a music point of view, look no further than Image Comics. But I gotta tell you, along with Ryan Higgins and whoever these artists were, I kind of enjoyed the series. Something happened where like 7 seconds were lost. Maybe it's minutes. And even still, for a moment in time, these people that were on a NASA mission were gone. And then they came back and everything was normal. The beginning of the book is they're getting interrogated and have been for some time. So there's a mystery and some superpowers. And I really liked the dialogue and I thought it worked really well. I didn't order a whole lot, but I already have more reorders coming in. I think this might be one of those things where people are like specking on it. But even more than that, I think you should read it. Moon Man, #1. Marvel Voices Legends. I wish we could get Marvel Voices Power and DC Legends 2024. Holy cow. I don't know who that person in the upper left is. Blue Marvel down on the left. We got the Patriot. Is that what he's calling himself? It almost looks like Misty Knight is like doing something with that shield. You got Photon or Spectrum or whatever the Ms. Marvel's calling herself. And we got Cap Falcon. Actually, that's a pretty good lineup. If I was going to buy a comic book of the black characters between this one and the DC one, we've got a variant copy of Superman. We've got 2 Green Lanterns. I don't know. Is that Livewire? I don't know what the hell's going on there. We've got Duke. Is that Vixen? Is that what that's supposed to be? I have no idea. Vixen can be so many things. And then I don't even know who that one up in the top is. Oh, and I guess we have that cop that died that became the Spectre. And I think just Misty Knight alone is better than all of those people. Marvel Voices Legends. Jill and the Killers. Well, I want you all to know that I bought this specifically for my girlfriend, Jill. And I said, you got to read this. It's got your name on it. She didn't get 3 pages in. So do me a favor and pick this book up for me, because I don't want to see it anymore. Dead X-Men #1. You want to know the scariest thing a comic book store owner... let me take this off. This... Oh, no, not this one. This. This is the scariest thing a comic store owner can hear from a customer base. Man, I'm not going to get that Dead X-Men after I've ordered it. I'm not going to get that Dead X-Men. That last miniseries sucked. They didn't say that at any time when that last miniseries was going on. But after I'd already ordered this, I find out. It's okay. I can bite the bullet this time. Dead X-Men, #1. Alan Scott, Green Lantern, #4. No bullet to bite here. I know exactly what I was getting into. Power Girl Uncovered, #1. You know you're only buying it for the covers, and you couldn't get them all unless your name is Fantinium, and then you got all of these anyway. These are all the very good covers that are coming out for the Power Girl series already on its 4th issue. Plus like a special and whatnot. I know you like this Villa Lobos cover, so you might as well come in and get it. His name is Pablo, and he's not the one that everybody hates. And last but not least, World Tree. We're ending on World Tree? I read the first issue, and I thought it was interesting. I just don't care. James Tynion writes stuff that I think is pretty cool. And the art's nice also. And there is a super sexy chick that has some mechanical or fiber optic tattoos. Fiber optic. That's what World Tree is about. People dying because of that bitch. And that's New Comic Book Day for tomorrow. Plus all sorts of stuff. I got a local comic artist book, Afterburner, in. It's a collection of his first 3 issues. It's magazine sized. It's sexy. It has a black male lead and all sorts of hot women. It's sort of like Star Trek, Captain Kirk style, but it's also pulpy. Like a noir novel. And it's black and white, and it's just really, really good. All right, I'm going to go to comments. So remember, join the channel if you like any of this crap and want to try and win something. All right, let's see it. Also psyched for World Tree. And, of course, Local Man. Local Man is coming out. That's right. I got to read this just because it's at Eric Breen. Have you done a retro? They have not. They don't do that anymore. Sean Hickey, one of my customers. Interesting, they did a Trinity special. It's a cool idea, but man, does it feel like a waste without a clear future established. Yeah, I agree. It would be one thing if, like, you remember when Rucka was writing Wonder Woman, maybe not. He was doing one issue was a current day story, and then the next issue was a year 1 story. And they did that for like 30 or 40 issues. And it was a different artist each time. Well, back and forth, I should say. Something like that with Trinity would be cool. Or maybe every off issue, like in between the storyline, instead of a backup, we got an entire Trinity story. That would be kind of cool. But I agree that there is question marks about that. Or maybe it's just, like in the old days, if you read the old Wonder Woman comics, because they're a hoot, let me tell you. They'll have a Wonder Woman story, which is like nutty, and then they'll have like young Wonder Woman story, like she's a baby, and it's stupid as all hell. Eric Brain, you didn't miss any. Wes doesn't do them anymore. We have one in the can, which is hopefully will come out eventually. And anytime I get you guys to, I've had Eric do reviews with me. I feel like Eric and I can kind of play off each other a little bit more, stream of consciousness style. Joe can get into the minutia that will really kill a stream. So go check our Avengers number 200. I think Avengers 200 gets a bad rap. Oh, Josh McDonald. Yeah, right. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. Illith the Lord. The DC power cover is the most almost unreadable, just a mess of colors and energy attacks. I know. No, Miles Morales is a choice. Well, you know, he's got his. If you're in the upper echelon, you know, like in wrestling, let's say, you know, you want to kind of stand aside. I'm my own man, you know. I'm not here to help them out anymore. Wow, X-Men coming back from the dead. What a novel concept for a story in the Krakoan era. I have no idea. I don't read all the extra stuff. You can see that's kind of how I feel. It's kind of like reviewing, and I know you want to get hits, and we need some, you know, a little steam, a little drama, and I always joke about wanting to get some drama or something, but not really. I mean, it'd be easy to poke the bear. I had pictures ready with Comic Tom in it. But I mean, I'm punching so far up, and what's it going to be? I'm going to crack a slab to prove him something. But we'll do that. I'll have an episode later on in the week, a video of us cracking this slab I've got right here. Another donation from Talking Soul. So he'll be there when I do it. So it'll be fun. And then Eric Breen says, we are overdue for a retro Mr. Carter. Well, I got to let you know, I am really into the artist James or Jim Sherman. I lucked into a Legion of Superheroes issue, and I did a Mother's Basement based on it. And I was so captivated by his artwork. He does this, like, you know, Farrah Fawcett hair, and say that one 5 times really fast, and just really beautiful people, butt cheeks from the men, all sorts of really great poses. And I really liked reading a Jerry Conway issue, which doesn't happen too often. And I found out he did a lot of the Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. So I have these right here. But even better, a long time ago, a couple of years, I got to buy a bunch of Silver Surfers were in them, including the Thanos ones that are expensive. But there's issue number 39, and I was captivated by the artwork, and I didn't know where I put it. So then I had Silver Surfer somewhere else from another buy, and I looked for that issue, and sure as shit, James Sherman did the art on that. So if you're at all interested, it's volume 3, Silver Surfer, number 39. We should talk about that. And then lastly, Joe will kill you if you bring him on a James Sherman Legion retro. Kill me because he'll get so deep into it. We'll talk. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Not as long as last time, but I still am going to play this video. See you next week.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish food complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom. 'cause they saw their brother sunset sing. Lucy and Ramona, sunset Sam. People on the streets trying to find the plan. People on the streets looking for their land. Lucy and Ramona and their brother Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn. She left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from